So we based our solution around a few key findings that we had when we went out and spoke to men in Angel this morning. Some of them were that they didn't like to buy online because they were worried about how stuff they bought online would fit them, so they wanted to physically go out and try the stuff on. Another was that none of them could describe what sort of style they liked. A lot of men said, I know my own style, but then they couldn't describe it. But what they would say was when they went out shopping, they wouldn't look for an outfit, they would look for one particular thing that caught their eye, that they liked, that they thought expressed them as a person. So, Fabric is a service, and we're agnostic at the moment about how it's presented, which allows men who aren't confident with fashion to build fashion-forward outfits by taking a photo of an existing piece of clothing that they've chosen, or a barcode of a new piece of clothing that they're considering, and matching suggestions to it in the form of categories. So if I take you through our scenario, Jeff, this is Jeff, is 21 years old. He's just graduated from university, he did an accountancy course, and he's at an accountancy firm. He's just been invited to his first ever office Christmas party at the firm where he works, and he wants to impress the girl on reception. He's not confident in his ability to choose an outfit, but he has a few pieces of clothing that he's very proud of, that he thinks really express his personality, and he's confident that if he had a bit more knowledge, he could build an outfit around it. If you asked him what style he liked, he'd say, I've got my own style, but he wouldn't be able to describe it. He knows what he likes, but only when he sees it, as I think we've heard a few times. So he uses his phone to take a photo of a key piece of clothing that he wants to build an outfit around. He can also add tags to it, and then he can tell the application what sort of event it is that he's going to wear this to. And what we came up with was this matrix, essentially, of formal and casual on this axis, and conservative and flamboyant on this axis. And what you can see is you can map looks like Ted Baker Archive or Paul Smith, and then you can map types of event on these same axes. So what the app can do is it can heuristically say, right, well, if you are going to an office party, then I can show you some Paul Smith stuff, because I know that will work. Although, in fact, it wouldn't show you a label. It would say, from the colour of your shirt and from the tags you've added, I know that black flat front slacks will work with this shirt. So, it will suggest a series of different things, and you can choose what you like and what you don't like. You can slide left and right and up and down to move around on those axes. So if you think, well, this is nice, but I want it to be a bit more flamboyant, you can say, I want some trousers with, bell bottoms. And you can keep sliding until you get to an outfit that you're comfortable with. And it will build it on the right-hand side over here. Because of the tags, once you've completed an outfit, you can tag it, and you can tag it with a name like, for instance, you could say, this is the kind of thing David Beckham might wear. So people can come in later on, they can search for David Beckham, because he's a style icon of theirs, and it will bring up outfits that match it. Once Jeff is happy with his outfit, he can rate it, which allows other users to see it in a highly rated section of the app as well. So that gives you two journeys through. If you're confident, you can build your own. If you're more confident, you can build your own outfits. If not, you can look at other highly rated outfits that people have liked. Ultimately, that gives the users two journeys. Once Jeff has tweaked the outfit to his preferences, he's shown suggested real-world products, which I think is up a bit. Is up a bit. Yeah, it's this one. So beforehand, we were just saying black flat-fronted slacks will go with this. Now here's a selection of black flat-fronted slacks. This allows Jeff to choose by price, to choose by location, to decide whether he's comfortable buying online or whether he just wants to take it into a shop and say, give me some of these, please. So he can build his outfit any way he likes that way, and he gets to choose actual physical products that match what he knows will be a working style. Jeff wears the outfit to the party, and the receptionist falls in love with him. They marry, and the app helps Jeff choose his wedding suit, and they have 4 immaculately dressed babies who you see here using fabric to choose their first romper. That's us.
Would you like to join our team, and then we could make like the ultimate app?
we will sit there when you're presenting.
How did you come up with the mood matrix?
How did we come up with that?
I'm not sure.
Probably originally started thinking what are different ways you can classify clothes, and I think then we probably started coming up with one dimension, then
Yeah,
I think
what we realised was
Yeah.
we were discussing whether this was something you could crowdsource, and what we quickly realised was men aren't going to crowdsource clothes for other men. So we needed something that could work heuristically instead. So we thought, well, it needs to have a mapping of some sort, and then I think the matrix just kind of popped
Yeah, I think
out of that.
that's something I actually was most torn about, because we were thinking about tags, and at what point, what's the perfect matrix to have? It's very difficult to go and choose the axes on that.
Yeah.
So I was actually torn about that one. Wow.
I have a question about the planning your research. So you were the team that you were the first ones to leave, and I wonder how much did you plan how you're gonna do the interviews? And looking back, do you think you planned enough, or would you spend more time refining these questions? So just a little bit about how that worked for you to go out there that early.
We chose, I think, good questions, and it gave us an idea on what men were like. And again, I think we started with the idea of a party, and then we found out that it wouldn't work for that because men generally don't buy until or go for the last moment. So it then changed our idea to move to this. So it was an idea about how men buy clothes.
Yeah, and we came up with 7 questions, so we didn't really do much more than that. And in the end, anyway, we split into 2 teams, and I think one half out of us did 7 questions in a very kind of quick, rapid fire. So we got lots of interviews, kind of almost like a survey, ticking boxes. The other half kind of did fewer interviews, but we got much more depth.
Did you find that these 2 things then work together well, or was it hard to bring these kind of survey style versus storytelling approaches together?
I think having the 2 approaches did work quite well, because what we were able to do was take nuggets of insight that we'd kind of drawn out of the deep interviews, and we were able to validate them kind of almost quantitatively against the kind of the insights that had come out of the large number of rapid interviews.
One thing that I thought we should have done, since we split into 2 teams, could have been to get one team to interview guys and another team to interview women, and see if there's any kind of different ways, because maybe some people are not very self-conscious about what they do and the way they report it back, and maybe their wives or girlfriends or friends could give them some, give us a deeper idea of what's actually happening.
Were there any, out of all the interviews you did, were there any people who you thought would be more keen to use this or less keen? Like, were there people who stood out as ideal?
Yeah, there was a couple called Tony and Kevin, who Tony did all the clothes shopping for them. It was interesting. One of the things we discovered was that the men who said, "Oh, I know nothing about fashion," were the best dressed ones. So Tony and Kevin, they talked about. They were one of our key kind of findings in terms of the grazing behaviour of going into a shop, maybe looking for stuff or just seeing what's in there and then choosing one thing that they liked. They were the kind of people that I think, because they're good at kind of choosing one thing that they really like, I think they were the ones that I had in the forefront of mind when I was sketching up the fashion matrix in particular. I think they were in the forefront of my mind for that.
Is that why? Were the words that you chose in the matrix their words, or were they?
No, we came up with those after a couple of iterations, actually. I think instead of flamboyant, we originally had something like extrovert.
I was originally thinking one dimension could be the popularity as well, but then it's kind of very difficult to define. So we replaced it with something else.
The idea of the matrix is that there's an editor behind it, and he can, as trends change and as new collections come out, he can move stuff around on them. And he can define palettes that match to the photograph of whatever's been taken as well. So the idea is, although it's a largely automated process, there is some human thinking behind it to keep it on trend.
And if the application does go down, we just have a little thing saying ask your girlfriend or wife.
Thanks.